Alright, hi everybody, it's me. First of all, if you hear a lot of drumming, it's because Brian's drumming on the other side of the house. I told him I was gonna film a video, and he was like, bet, and then he started drumming. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about the time that my gallbladder tried to kill me. And the reason I want to make this video is because, first of all, I miss you a lot. And I feel like if we were at school, this is the first story that I would tell you. Maybe some of you care, maybe some of you don't, but feel free to just put this in the background of whatever it is that you're doing. Feel free to, watch this if you just miss listening to my stories or if you're bored or whatever. But I'm going to tell you about the time my gallbladder tried to kill me, and I'm going to do a face mask because while I was in the hospital, I couldn't do any skincare and my face is a mess, and I'm sure you can see it. I have acne. Normally I have acne, but it's really bad right now because some days it was all I could do to just get out of bed and wash my face once, not even twice. So, and we have Brian's drumming in the background to soothe us. I'm going to be doing the Aztec Secret Indian Clay Healing Mask and mixing it with apple cider vinegar with the mother, because it says to. You can mix it with water also, but it doesn't make the sound if you just use water. So, I don't know, let's get started. Let me put my hair up. So, as you know, my gallbladder, RIP, ceased to exist. I had no idea that this is happening. Actually, do y'all remember back in August when I went to the hospital and then came back to school? It was like the beginning of the year. I had bruises all over my arms. And I was like, I went to the hospital because my back hurt and I thought I was dying, and they told me I just had really bad reflux. Well, joke's on everybody. It wasn't reflux. It was a gallstone, and nobody knew it, including the hospital that I paid $2,000 to. So I'm not mad. I'm not bitter. Anyway, March, this happened at the very beginning of March, and I'm ticked because I had a really cool March Madness thing that I was going to do in AP Lit with poetry, and I'm sure that Jerry L's really happy that that didn't happen, but I'm kind of sad. I'm going to use a 1-to-1 ratio, by the way. I've got a scooper, so 1 scoop of this, 1 scoop of this, mix it together, put it on my face. So anyway, I went to the hospital on the 2nd, and I started feeling symptoms on, the last day of February, that weekend, before I wasn't there. We ate dinner, and it was like a normal dinner. It was Chili's to go, because we were excited that Brian was home from an event for a couple days, and we usually eat Chili's when he gets home. So we ate Chili's, and then I was like, my back is starting to hurt again. I'm getting that reflux. So I went in the room, took some Tums, and laid down, and it was so painful. It doesn't feel like reflux. It feels like somebody's snapping your back in half. But Advent Health Hospital said that that was reflux, so, I believe them, because that's what their degree's in. So I took a Tums. It didn't get better. I didn't sleep. I was miserable until, we probably ate dinner at, 6 o'clock at night. Lasted all night until probably 9 or 10 in the morning the next morning. Hardly slept. I just ate a bunch of Tums, an unhealthy amount of Tums, and then watched TV the whole time because I couldn't sleep. That Sunday morning, woke up, felt okay. Still kind of felt not great, so Brian ordered me some chicken noodle soup from Panera. I ate 2 spoonfuls, my back started to hurt again, and I was like, how is this possible? It's chicken noodle soup, how is it giving me reflux, whatever. And I went and laid down miserably in the room again. So, see, it sizzles. I don't know if y'all can hear that, and that's what it looks like. If I look over here, it's because I have a monitor over there that I can like see myself in. Brian actually set all this up for me because I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, Sunday also didn't feel good. I felt okay for a little bit in the afternoon, and we actually went to Fun Spot, and we didn't like, well, it wasn't Fun Spot, it's like Old Town, is that what it's called? And there's like a gem mining shop, or a gem shop. You can buy a bag of dirt, and it's full of gems, and you can mine them out of the bag. So we did that for a little bit, but then I didn't feel good again. We went home. All Sunday night I didn't feel good, so I called off Monday. And again, felt horrible Monday, didn't sleep all night. Called off Tuesday, and Tuesday Brian was supposed to fly out to San Diego for work. And Tuesday morning I was like, can you just drive me really quick to urgent care, which not the hospital, just like the doctor's office. It was like Hunters Creek Urgent Care. It's by the Loop. And I was like, just drive me there so they can like, I don't know, give me prescription strength antacid for my reflux. And he was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So he drove me up there. I felt horrible, hadn't slept, couldn't eat because for some reason every time I ate it got worse because I was like, oh, it's reflux. Gave urgent care $100. The doctor took one look at me and was like, you need to go to the hospital. And I was like, what? I don't understand the question. And he was like, no, you need to go to the hospital. Like, there's a bug in here. How rude. Anyway, he's like, no, you need to go to the hospital. There's something wrong with your gallbladder. By the way, did you notice that you're yellow and you're like jaundice? And I was like, no, I didn't. My skin was yellow, my eyes were yellow, and because I felt so sick that I wasn't looking in the mirror. I wasn't like doing this right now, so I didn't notice that like all my skin was yellow and I looked like a banana. Anyway, so I slide into the hospital. First I went to Osceola Regional, and they treated me horribly. I apologize if anybody works at Osceola Regional. I'm sure it's not your fault. They were literally full to the brim of people that had the flu, because everybody thought that because they were like coming down with a flu, they're like, this must be you know what. So they all went to the hospital, and the doctors kept coming out because we're in this big waiting room. They kicked all of our like people that were with us out. I was in there by myself. Brian went home because he wasn't allowed to be there. He had to call off from work, by the way, because at this point I'm in the hospital. But they kicked everybody out, and like doctors just kept walking out and telling all these people like, you have the flu, you have flu A, you have flu B, blah blah blah, blah, you have strep throat. And I was like, wow, this is cool, I'm gonna get the flu. And then finally they did an ultrasound on me at Osceola Regional, and they were like, yeah, sis, this gallbladder, she's got a stone. It's basically like how a oyster, how an oyster makes a pearl, except not helpful and not lucrative, actually cost me money instead of making me money. So, yes, sis, she made a gallstone, and it had to come out. But the problem was Osceola Regional was so full of people that they were like, we can't give you room. Lay down on this bed in the hallway with all these other people that are also sick, and we'll get to you whenever. And I was like, okay, this isn't gonna work. Brian sounds really good. Of course he stopped. Okay. So, I lay down on the bed. I got there at 9 a.m. It's now 5 p.m. And I lay down on a bed, pass out, because I'm so tired. I haven't slept, haven't been able to eat in days. And I wake up to Brian. I genuinely still don't know how he got into the hospital. but he was like waking me up. He was like, we're leaving. And I was like, oh, what's going on? And he's like, they don't have room for you. They don't have space for you. You can't just lay here. We're going somewhere else. And we tried to ask the people that work there, like, you know, when can I get this out? Like, I'm in so much pain. And, like, I mean, if your gallbladder has a stone in it, I can't eat, I can't sleep, and she's gonna pop. Like, the gallbladder, the stone in the gallbladder was blocking the bile duct, so all that bile's backing up into my body. That's why my skin is yellow, my eyes were yellow, and the people at Osceola Regional really just didn't feel like that was a problem. So we drove to Dr. Phillips Hospital, which is really far away from us, but they were the only place that had space. There's literally, like, nobody there. It was really nice. But anyway, they do an ultrasound also because Osceola Regional wouldn't give me any of my paperwork or exam results when I asked to leave. And I wasn't being rude. I was incapable of being rude because I was so sick. I was like, please, God, just help me. And they were like, not gonna. So they confirm at Dr. Phillips that it's a gallstone and she's got to go. And that is Tuesday the 2nd. I have a procedure on the... They basically keep me for observation for a few days. They give me a room immediately. I cried as soon as we got there because they were just so nice to me. Unlike Osceola Regional, I had so many marks on my arms from Osceola Regional where they were trying to put an IV in my arm and they couldn't get it in and they didn't know what they were doing. At one point, a guy was doing it without gloves on and I didn't say anything because I was like, I was so sick and I was so tired. And I remember thinking, like, is this normal? And I didn't have the strength to say, like, hey bro, should you put some gloves on? So we pull up to Osceola Regional and they immediately put me in a bed. I started crying because I was like traumatized from them trying to put an IV in me so many times at the other hospital. And the lady's like, I'm going to get it on the first try. Don't stress out. And she did. And it didn't even hurt. And I started crying because they were just so nice to me there. And because, like, at the other hospital, they just weren't even treating me like a person. It was so weird. I never really go to the hospital, but I wasn't expecting that. So, get my own room, and I stayed there on antibiotics. I wasn't allowed to eat because that, you know, aggravates your gallbladder, because every time you eat, your body releases, like, acid and stuff to help break all that stuff down, and that's what was bagging up my gallbladder into my liver and my body. So I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink a lot for, mostly during the day, I couldn't eat or drink anything. And then on the 5th, so from the 2nd to the 5th, I just sat there in observation so they could make sure I wasn't going to die. And then the 5th, they do a procedure where they take the gallstone out. It was the weirdest procedure ever. Like, they wheeled me in. They didn't tell me how they were going to do it, and I really didn't care. But they wheeled me into the operating room, and then they were like, okay, flip over on your stomach. And I was like, what? And they're like, you have to be on your stomach for this. And I'm like, I don't understand. Because they go in through your mouth. They inflate your body full of air. And then they go in through your mouth with a little, like, I don't know, camera arm thingy all the way down and pluck the stone out and pull it out through your mouth again. So they roll me on my belly and then they give me the anesthesia and I'm out cold. They wake me up from the procedure, and this is on the 4th, and the first thing I say when I wake up, like, I scream at the top of my lungs. I'm like, I dreamed about Animal Crossing. And everybody's like, okay, what's Animal Crossing? And I didn't have my eyes open yet because you're still, like, really groggy from what happened. So I was like, it's the best video game ever. And the nurse is like, oh my god, that's great for you. I'm so happy for you. So they wheel me into, I yell that as they're wheeling me into, like, the recovery room where your family is, and my mom was waiting there, and I fell back asleep after I proclaimed my love for Animal Crossing. And then the way that I woke up again, so like they fill you full of air, right? I don't know why, but I'm sure it's scientific and important. But they fill you full of air, and then, you know, that air has to like come out. And it can't just like come out of your pores. So I woke up because my body released that air so loudly that it woke me up. And when it happened, the nurse next to me was like, "Oh, there she is." And I immediately started crying again. I was like, "I'm so sorry." And the nurse and my mom were like, "It's fine. Like, that air has to come out of you." And I'm like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I shouldn't have done that." And they're like, "It's fine." I have the tendency to cry when I wake up out of anesthesia. Now I know that. But anyway, I felt like a new human after they took that stone out. It didn't hurt. I didn't wake up from pain after the anesthesia. I was allowed to eat broth and jello for like a day, or a couple hours. Basically from after the procedure, which was like 2 p.m. until midnight. I ate some broth and some jello. And then the next day they were like, "That gallbladder's gotta go." So on the 6th, they took the stone out on the 5th. I think I said the 4th. That was a lie. It was the 5th, because the 6th was the day that they took the gallbladder out. And I was nervous, but like not like super nervous. I really just wanted it to be over with, because I was like, I want to go home. I want to go back to work. I want to play Animal Crossing. That's going to come out soon. It came out on like the 20th. I was like, that comes out next week. I was going to chaperone Thespians before that unfortunately got canceled. I was like, let me just go home. I asked the surgeon, I was like, after the surgery, how fast can I go back to work? It happened on Friday the 6th, and his assistant was like, you could go back like on Tuesday. And I was like, so it must not be that bad if people go back like 4 days later. Like, how bad can this possibly be? And they literally just take like little robot arms and like stick them in you through like a couple incisions in your belly and like meep and pull it out. So I didn't think it was going to be that bad. The day of the surgery, one of my former students, Sabrina Gutierrez, came and visited me for a couple hours beforehand, and I'm so thankful that she was there, because I'm sure I was super nervous, but because she was there to like distract me, I didn't have to think about it. She was there the whole time until I went in. So Sabrina, if you're watching this, thank you so much for coming, and I'm not gonna cry, for coming and distracting me for a little bit, because that meant a lot to me. But anyway, they wheel me back. They are like surprised that my blood sugar's low, even though I haven't eaten in days, which I don't usually have blood sugar issues, and I don't know anything about it. So they pricked my finger, and they're like, it's 64. And I was like, what's that mean? And they're like, well, it's not good. And I'm like, okay. And like everybody was freaking out about it except this one anesthesiologist, which wasn't my anesthesiologist. I wish he was. He came up and he was like, her blood sugar's low. When was the last time she ate? And they were like 5-6 days ago. And he was like, hello, okay, let's get this show on the road. They did have to give me a second IV, and they couldn't find a spot. They ended up putting it right here, and it was probably the most painful thing up until that point. It hurt the whole time. I don't know what went wrong. And the girl that put it in was really, really nervous. So I'm sure that she was doing the best that she could, but it was very painful, and I screamed and tears came out of my eyes. But I was trying to be strong. I was trying to be a baddie, but it wasn't working. So anyway, they hooked me up. They take me into the operating room. The surgeon's there. The anesthesiologist there. Other people are there, and I don't know why. They put me on the bed, and then they, like, tie my arms like this. And then... This is so stupid. I'm laying flat on a bed like this with my arms tied down, and then they, like, raise the bed up like this so that you're, like, kind of on an angle. It was very strange. And I remember being like, is this necessary? I just got a wet washcloth to take this off. I don't like to let it dry all the way because it can get really hard to get off, and it, like, pulls a lot. It's very drying. Anyway, so they strap me to the table. I think this is where I was. They strap me to the table. They lift me up. They give me the gas, and it's go time. So I woke up, a lot of pain, very painful, much more painful than anybody told me it was going to be, by the way. I'm not mad. I'm just confused about why I was lied to. So it was very painful. I, like, woke up begging for pain medication because it hurt so bad. And then I was able to go home that night. Because at this point, I've been away from home for, like, 5 days. So, I might, like... Is that my email? Oh, okay. I might scrape some of this off, because it might just be easier. But anyway, so... I go home. It's very painful. And I'm like, there's no way I can go back to work. This is way too painful. This is a mess. I do this all the time. I just don't like how I have to take it off. Also, my face is going to be very red because it's very sensitive. But anyway, I get home and I realize that I'm going to have to spend another week out of work because it was literally, I've had a couple surgeries. I've had my tonsils out. I've had my tonsils out, my adenoids, my wisdom teeth, and I've had knee surgery. Is that everything? I think that's everything. This was the worst one. Tonsils was nothing compared to this. Oh, she's bleeding. I'm so sorry if y'all are afraid of blood. But anyway, that was very painful. It was very stressful for me because I don't like to not be in my classroom. I'll hold this over here so maybe you can't see that. And it sucked. It still sucks. I had it on the 6th and today's like the 27th and I'm still in a moderate amount of pain. Nothing that they said was out of the ordinary. It's just like, you know, you had an organ taken out. You're gonna feel it. And, we start school online in 2 days. So sitting up hurts kind of. The best way to deal with it is to either lay down or stand up. So I eat a lot of my meals standing up. I lay down on the sofa a lot. I can't, I still can't bend over. I can't do laundry because I can't lean over the washing machine. But I can, like, get up by myself. There was a couple days where I couldn't get out of bed by myself. Someone had to pick me up out of bed, which, I mean, not easy. Brian had to, like, lift me up. It was really hard to shower. But some of the good things that happened were I was still able to communicate with you guys because of the internet and Remind and Teams and everything. Sorry for assigning so much work while I was gone. But, you know, I'm trying to give you the best education possible. Your teachers at OCSA were incredibly helpful to me. They were calling me. They were asking me how they could help. They were making copies for me. They all signed a card. They all gave me an envelope full of money for my hospital bills, which, I mean, that made me cry, because I just had no idea that, I don't know, anybody cared about me that much. So that was really, really nice of your teachers and my colleagues, your teachers, to do for me. And I don't know, now we are out of school for a while, which, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, really breaks my heart. But I could not go back to work right now and be my normal self, even if I wanted to, because this was just really a hard surgery for me. And some people do it and it's not that big of a deal. And for me, it was super painful. Like, Miss Calderon was telling me that she did it and it was fine. She was like, it really wasn't that big of a deal. I don't know why it hurts so much. I can't tell you all that. I have seen, actually, my anatomy teacher in high school had hers out, and I don't know how, but she, like, got them to give her a video of them removing her gallbladder from, like, the inside. It was, like, so gross, but so fascinating at the same time. That was, like, an assignment for us to watch her, gallbladder removal. And it prepared me for this, because I kind of knew exactly what it was going to be like. I just wasn't aware of how bad it would hurt. Wow, my face is really red, but that's normal for me because I'm very sensitive. My camera cut me off. Don't you ever do that again. So, mask is off. I'm going to follow up with like it's a night cream. It's just a heavy moisturizer. But anyway, so your teachers did a lot for me, and I owe them a big thank you. And I also owe you guys a big thank you for continuing to do your work even though I wasn't there, and for, you know, going easy on me. I was trying my best to post assignments while I was in the hospital, and oh my god. Hey, sir. What's going on out there?
What are you being goofy?
Okay. What's up?
Is your face like really red?
Yeah.
Is that supposed to happen?
Yeah. I'm still recording.
Oh, okay. Well, I wanna go.
Okay, I'm almost done. Anyway, I want to say thank you for continuing to work even though I wasn't there. I know it's really easy when there's sub to do nothing. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate you working with me to get your grades in. Sir. That's Chewy. He wants me to finish. And yeah, I really miss you guys a lot, and now that you can see my extremely red face, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Maybe I'll do more to help keep you guys entertained or something. I don't know. Because I just miss talking to you guys and telling you stories and, you know, making you laugh and having you guys be engaged in what I'm telling you, even if it isn't always what we're supposed to be working on. So, I appreciate you, and I love you, and I hope you're safe, and I hope you're okay, and I'll talk to you soon.